Hi, everybody. It's Wednesday night, October 19th. It's my bedtime, but I finished this letter that I promised I would do to go to the human rights organizations. So I wanted to go ahead and read it to you and post the link in the description. Again, you're welcome to use this. You're welcome to just use it as kind of an example for something you want to do or do your own words. But first, I just want to say, honestly, I'm begging you guys to get involved with this. I mean, we're making it really easy. You can sign your name to this letter. Just don't put something in it and sign my name that I didn't say. But you're welcome to use my words and sign your name. I don't care. This is so not about me. This is about these men and women who are being abused, tortured, neglected. I can't even begin to imagine what they go through every day, the hopelessness. I have been in a place in life where I honestly, I felt hopeless. I didn't want to live anymore. And I can't imagine what these men and women are going through, what their families are going through. It breaks my heart. At the beginning of the year, the church I was going to at the time, we did 21 days of prayer and fasting, and they always encouraged us to pray about a word for the year. Ask the Lord to give us a word for the year. Well, at the beginning of this year, my word came really quickly. I mean, some years I may get a word, I may not, I have to think about it, pray about it. But this year, it was just really quick. Hope. That was my word. Hope. And again, I've been in that place where I've felt hopeless. And I don't wish that on anybody. So anytime I can help give somebody hope, I want to do that. And so writing these letters to these senators, media contacts, these human rights organizations, that gives hope to these men and women, to these J6ers. It lets them know that we care. We care enough to sit down and take a little bit of our time to do this for them. So many of these are veterans. They literally gave their lives for us. I mean, that any of them could have lost their lives in the line of duty. And we've got law enforcement officers as well, people who have served our country and our communities. And it's time for us to serve them, to help them. I said in one of the chats tonight, people don't want to get involved in politics, and there's the big discussion of whether Christians should be involved in politics. Well, all I've got to say is I'm really glad Esther didn't run from politics. If she had, the Jewish nation, the Jewish race would not exist anymore. I'm really glad that Paul and Silas and Peter and John and so many of the disciples and apostles didn't stop preaching about Jesus just because the king and the officials told them they couldn't. They kept on. If they had not, would we have heard about it? Would we have the Bible? So I think the Bible gives us lots of examples of godly people being involved in politics. But even with this, it's gone beyond politics for me. This is about the lives of these men and women. They have been pushed so far. I don't know how they're doing it. I don't know how they survive going through this day in and day out and not knowing what their future is going to be. So let me read this letter real quick. And like I said, I will post a link in the description. And I hope you will share it out. I posted a video earlier, and in the description of it, I had the links to several human rights organizations that you can send this to. You can send it anywhere you want to. You can use this to send to senators or whoever. So anyway, here we go. And I haven't even read this out loud, so I may find some mistakes in it as I go along. If I do, I'll correct it before I post it out to you guys. So, dear ma'am or sir, I am writing concerning the human rights violations occurring against the men and women being indefinitely detained for alleged crimes committed at the Capitol on January 6, 2021. Whether you agree with what was done or not should not matter. Everyone is entitled to basic human rights. Below are a number of excerpts from letters written by Jan 6 prisoners and or family members. This is just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many other violations occurring every day, particularly in the D.C. jail and Northern Neck Regional Jail in Warsaw, Virginia. And then here's some of the excerpts. On November 3rd, 2021, after Chris's hearing, where Judge Lambert said he was having Chris removed immediately because he was afraid there would be further retribution, there was retaliation on a few of the guys. One was sexually assaulted after leaving his lawyer meeting. He was also tied naked to a chair in a cell and pepper sprayed repeatedly and left for hours while his skin burned from the chemicals. Brandon has been in jail for 624 days. After being abused at the D.C. Gulag for many months, most spent in solitary confinement, he was moved to the Northern Neck facility where abuse continues. He was shortly at a medical facility in Fort Worth, Texas, and returned to the Northern Neck. Below is an appeal from his mother to call the marshals. Please help. Brandon, who is Jewish, has not eaten in 21 days. He is in starvation mode and losing hair. He wants a kosher tray and they will not give him one. Brandon says other inmates have gotten their kosher trays, but he has been ignored and they do not give him his tray. You know the government beat me to the point I lost sight in one eye, broken skull, nose, and eye socket. Tucker Carlson on Fox covered it along with Trump while he was in Arizona. I have not received any medical help, even after doctors referred me to get blood thinners, rehab, and surgery. My judge refused to let me go home for medical treatment. I am locked in 24/7 in a high-rise building in Philly. And I do have these separated by asterisks, so they'll know that they're separate. Chris has celiac disease, and the jail is either refusing to give him or lying about giving him proper food. They retaliate every time he asks for help. They poison him and torture him intentionally. The doctor has instructed the kitchen to provide gluten-free meals, but the jail does not comply with the order. The doctor said he could not do any more about his situation. Chris is down 50 pounds now. It is a very serious issue as he is again refusing to eat the poisonous meals. This is torture. He has been assaulted by the guards and sent to the hole for 45 days because he asked the jail for gluten-free food. The correctional officer opened the cell door to let Colt get his morning medication from the nurse. He walked approximately 25 feet to the nurse and was alone and distant. Lieutenant L. grabbed him and then sprayed him directly in the face. Why? He wasn't wearing a COVID mask. She sprayed him a second time at point-blank range while he was cuffed, tackled him, and hit him. He was taken to the Hole and then returned to C2B because of his status of protected custody. Not only because he is a J6er, but he is a law enforcement officer as well. Except he isn't in his cell anymore. They isolated him and the others to cells where the pod cameras don't reach. He was left in a cell covered in the spray for over 8 hours of torture, unable to decontaminate and rinse off his burning skin. Again, these are just a few examples of the human rights violations that are going on regularly. They are not allowed any visitors at all, as well as no religious services. Many of these prisoners have been incarcerated for coming up on 2 years, and the only support system they have had is each other. They are being pushed beyond what most people could withstand. I ask you to please look into this situation. These are not domestic terrorists. They are patriotic fathers and mothers, brothers and sisters, sons and daughters. Thank you for any assistance you can provide. Sincerely, and you can put your name. So, sorry this is long. I had to put that plea in there earlier. But please use this or whatever and reach out. We've got to get the word out. We've got to. That's the only hope. The American people have to know what's going on and rise up against this. So thank you, and I hope you have a great night.